Hi guys, and welcome back to the Tommy Starcraft channel. It's your host Tommy with the revenge perhaps here from Flash versus Best after he did lose game number 1. This is of course game number 2 in between the pro players. So let me just start by introducing the players to you guys as we have spawned here in the upper left part in the red. It is Best and his opponent spawning here in the upper right in the orange. It is Flash with his AK, the barcode AK with the W behind. So yeah, Flash losing game number 1. It is available here onto this channel after a great performance by Best with massive amounts of shuttles. Yeah, this seems to be the new meta for the Protoss actually. Shuttles instead of the Arbiter, giving them more mobility, especially for those Zealots and those High-Templars to drop those storms against the sheer masses of the Terran. Now let's just see what the answer from Flash is going to be against this strategy, or let's just see if Best is going to continue with this strategy, or perhaps he has something new installed. Perhaps arbiters, perhaps carriers, massive gateway units. We're about to find out what exactly his plans are as he's opening up here very standardly with the pylon next to his base, and there is his gateway. So pretty standard stuff here by him. No intentions to go for fast expansion yet. We already see a very early scout. No, it's actually just Flash making a barracks here, and by this position it looks like he's heading towards a fast expansion build order. So very macro orientated Flash here, wanting to play it very safe and very ordinary as the SCV is now moving out here onto the map to scout the map. Same can be said for Best, and yeah, perhaps a small advantage now by Best as he's heading towards the right direction, and Flash pretty much has to go all the way to see where exactly his opponent is hiding. Let's just check the gas. There it is for Best. Flash not taking his gas yet, so this could be an advantage for Best once again, as he might try to steal the gas here. Let's see if Flash is going to react against this attack, or perhaps the SCV will take some damage. Indeed, Best already targeting this one SCV. Is he going to steal the gas? Is there going to be a reaction for Flash as in comes the probe, and immediately reaction by Flash, taking that gas really fast. So very smart gameplay here indeed for Flash and Best at the same time, as the SCV is now finally heading towards the upper left part from the map. There's the cybernetic score, so pretty standard stuff here for both players, but with a small difference here. Flash with a very early expansion onto the map, as he is very likely going to reposition this barracks and already building a supply depot here. So quite interesting SimCity build order by him, making it of course very hard for those units to move forward, but this position right here could be very good for the Protoss to attack the SCVs. There is no bunker yet here for Flash, so let's just see how he's going to continue with his build order. There comes the SCV from Flash, sees that the upgrade is going up for the Dragoons, so a pretty standard open up here for any Protoss, but it could be a very aggressive move by Best very soon versus Flash with 3 to 4 Dragoons versus the expansion. This should be his factory. You can see of course the production tab here in the upper left part. And yeah, let's just see how this game is going to continue, as the Dragoon is still chasing the SCV away. Second Dragoon is on his way. There's the expansion. Flash knows of course the timing, so his SCV will see that Best is also playing very standardly and very safe. So we're heading towards a long replay, as you can see from the timer. Quite a exposed barracks here, bunker in the front. And yeah, both players pretty much at the same worker amount, so yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Both players, like I told you, playing very safe, very macro oriented gameplay. We could see a small difference now as Best is going for his first robotics facility bay. So he is of course known to go for some observers. Let's see if he's going to change that into some shuttles with some river gameplay. We're about to find out, as two Dragoons are very close towards the bunker. And yeah, range will be finished very soon, as the Dragoons will be able to shoot at this one bunker. Let's just see what Flash's reaction. He's going for the upgrade, he's going for the tank. So he's perhaps finding a good position for his tanks into this location, being defended by the buildings in the front. So quite a normal Terran versus Protoss in 2024, even 2022, 2023. This strategy has been played pretty much all over again, and yeah, the same thing is happening here. Best is of course forcing Flash to lose some minerals here, but in the end this will of course be fended off very soon with the incoming tank from Flash. Siege ability is also about to get finished. Nice hidden tank now underneath the barracks, as the Dragoons already taking quite some damage. And yeah, with the siege ability this will be held off very soon, but it's 4 Dragoons, so Best could try to move forward. However, a slow reaction now here for Flash, as he somehow is able to repair this bunker with only 2 Marines. So Best could have tried something very risky. He could have tried to move here forward. So I guess this is exactly why Flash has built this Sim City, as it is very hard for those Dragoons to reach this one tank. And there were also only 2 Marines, but of course as a Protoss you don't really know how many Marines there are hidden into the barracks. And let's not forget that it would have been a tank on the high ground. So yeah, quite a risky move for Best, but in the end he plays it very safe, returning at home as slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. We have the first shuttle. There's a river getting produced. We do have actually some Goliath upgrades here for Flash. So Flash pretty much expecting a drop into his main, as his academy is also getting added. The first Goliath is also getting added. The river is about to get finished. Not that many defenses here for Flash. No turrets. I believe he's going now for his engineering bay. So very soon the shuttle will arrive, as it is moving now out with 2 zealots. So this can be quite deadly if the shuttle makes it here into the main base from Flash. As you can see, no speed is being done yet here for Best, as at the same time he's also going for an expansion. So quite a smart gameplay here by him, going straight forward. Flash is moving his tanks around. He knows the timing. He knows the timing from the push, and there's the Goliath. So exactly on time, as Best is going now for the expansion set. The first Reaver is getting dropped, and this could be quite deadly against all of those SCVs here, as more and more damage is being taken. One tank has been dropped. More damage is being taken here by the Reaver and by the shuttle. So in the end this will be cleared, but at what cost, as the Reaver is dealing more and more damage. Finally the shuttle has been taken out. The tank also takes some damage, but in the end it's getting cleared, and Flash not really losing much of his economy. In the end Best sacrificed the shuttle, the 2 zealots and the Reaver for no real gains by him, but he had to of course try to inflict damage against the economy from Flash. I believe Flash only losing 1 tank there. Now there is vision for Best, but those Goliaths are very smart gameplay here by Flash, a very smart decision for him to go for Goliaths. Race could also be a possibility for him, but he's going very heavily into those factories. So it's going to be a mech gameplay once again versus a macro orientated. Seems to be a mass gateway push by him. So let's see if he's once again going to try to mass shuttle gameplay versus his opponent. Okay, we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. A great map awareness here by Best, as he's moving out with his units, securing more and more territory and having great vision onto the map. So with that he should of course gain the economic advantage in the end. Let's see for how long Flash is going to allow this to happen. Adding some turrets, expecting of course more drops. But yeah, Best playing very safe, just stays behind, just checks when exactly or if there's going to be the second expansion set here for Flash, as more Dragoons are getting spawned. Actually massive amounts of Dragoons. We see the Zealots getting produced, we see speed for the legs and 1 weapons upgrade, and there's the thruster for the vultures here for Flash. So we're going to be seeing some mines getting laid down very soon by him, as slowly but steadily Flash is now moving out, I believe, to secure the upper part of the map. Or it looks like he's actually pretty much ignoring to expand more, but Best seems to be there with 5 Dragoons, forcing a pullback by Flash. So quite a smart gameplay here by Best with his just a small group of Marines, of Dragoons. He keeps on guessing Flash what exactly is going to happen. Actually Flash even taking 3 SCV here forward just to have them to repair their tanks. But yeah, very smart, nice kiting here back and forward by Best, as he's able to inflict damage towards the units. The tanks have sieged up, and I believe this is pretty much looking like an all-in for Flash. Best tries of course to flank it somehow, tries of course to engage the reinforcements, but it looks like Flash no intentions into going for some expansions, just slowly pushing here forward, leaving some tanks to be sieged up, and now finally engaging here with the vultures in the front. Perhaps a risky gameplay here by Flash, as the vultures are of course very not that good versus the Dragoons. We do have Zealots now on the field, but there is no speed being done, so those siege tanks will deal so much damage. Finally, speed is being done here, and Best with a great engagement here coming in from all sides. However, the tanks do hold their grounds, and more dragoons are falling here left and right. Vultures also dealing great damage towards the zealots here, and it looks like Flash seems to be securing the position here as he's moving more and more forward. Not deciding to expand looks like have been a great decision, and now even those vultures might have a great time here forward against the zealots, as Flash tries to block here the exit from his opponent. I believe he's going to try to move forward indeed with his vultures towards the newly established base here from Best. So quite a smart move. And now the probes are pretty much in danger, but we do have zealots somehow here into this location. He's getting scanned. Some mines will be there to intercept this. In the meantime, some probes have fallen here as the vultures do secure this position, and slowly but steadily the siege continues here for Flash. So this looks like a pretty much different gameplay, a much more aggressive gameplay here for Flash, showing us the strengths of a more aggressive Terran. So not a turtling up Terran at his base with the tanks, just pretty much moving forward with the vultures in the front, with the siege tanks in the back. Let's just check. He should have one weapons upgrade, but a great fight is happening here as zealots are coming in from all the sides, but the vultures give great cover towards those tanks in the front. But in the end, I believe Best looking like he has so much being left here, but the mines are really dealing great splash damage towards the units, and some siege tanks are still alive in the back as Best tries, of course, his best to take out the important units, those siege tanks. Zealots are also doing a great job soaking up those mine shots, but in the end I believe Best is going to hold, but at what cost? He's losing more and more units. Finally he is reaching the tanks, the last units here from Flash, but hold on, actually reinforcements are pouring in, so pretty much an all-in for Flash. But yeah, those tanks with the mines also doing great here versus the defense from Best. So Flash knows that he has to hurry up. There is a important economic advantage here from his opponent versus him, as more and more damage is being taken left and right. So quite a chaotic scene here from the two pros. In the end, the vultures are being left alive, so this could be quite deadly. However, right on time, Best is able to just spawn new units just to give him the defense here from his first expansion point. In the end, finally those vultures will be able to take out the pylons here, and I believe this cannon should be unpowered. So Flash now finally, if he reacts, he can of course snipe all of those workers here. Quite an important move. Best is reacting, but Flash, however, is busy, I guess, just planting those mines, so still no reaction there for him. Although there is actually there is a power there, and now Flash reacting, deciding to go for the Nexus. Interesting enough, I guess he really wants to snipe the main there from the expansion. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen, as once again the tank is taking quite some damage. Second tank will also be targeted. Lots and lots of mines are getting targeted, and actually the tank is still alive, but yeah, in the end it will be taken out. The mines will now get some great connections, and Best is able to hold, losing more and more units. Flash once again with the tanks in the back. So very chaotic, very strong scenes here by both players. A very aggressive gameplay here by Flash. Flash really wanting to finish the game as fast as he can, but it looks like, just like I told you, Best just keeps on coming back with his reinforcements. And now is he going to be able to save this one Nexus? It's very important gameplay here, and Flash sadly not allowing those vultures to keep on continuing to attack the Nexus, and in the end it will be taken out. So somehow Best is able to hold his ground here. So yeah, very strong scene here by Flash, just quite chaotic, quite strong, and very aggressive here by him. Very rare sight. Usually he's known to be playing much more calculated, much more macro orientated, but now in the end he is looking like very high on adrenaline here, very high on testosterone as he's moving forward. And finally he could snipe this one expansion. He needs to be careful, needs to hurry up, he needs to secure the ramp. I believe that's exactly his plan, going for the pylon. Interesting enough, finally the Nexus will be sniped, and with that Best should also lose quite a large amount of his workers here, trying to micro them nicely back and forward. Lots and lots of mines are getting laid, but the mines actually now working against Flash, as another mine is getting sniped here, and some workers do actually make it here out alive, as Best should be able to resecure his expansion right here. Yeah, he dropped to 39 workers. Flash still on 2 bases, pumping out more and more units out of his factories, and yeah, really not allowing the Best to catch his breath, as more and more vultures try to get a good surround versus the Dragoons. So a non-stop action gameplay here by both players. Lots and lots of actions happening left and right. Lots and lots of mines are getting laid. Really chaotic scenes, like I told you, as more and more damage is being taken left and right. But in the end, I believe Bast should be able to hold, but he's taking more and more damage. Great stuff here by both players. Very high on APM. Very strong gameplay here by both players. And yeah, quite great micro here by both players, left and right. As now Flash is once again moving forward with his Vulture. So really great stuff by him. But he knows, of course, that he has to hurry up, as this one expansion is once again finishing really. Luckily here for Best, he has his Observer out. So with that, I believe he might have done it, as once again a slow push is moving forward by Flash with great spreaded tanks. Check the upgrades once again, 1-1 for him. Check the Dragoons. Sorry, 1 weapons upgrades here for him as well. As Best once again tries a good position, and with the Zealots on the low ground, he might soak a couple of those mines, but he needs to be careful with those probes here, as once again great mine connections versus Flash. So those mines not really working out well for Flash. But of course, nicely to spread his tanks, but still the mines will be sniped here by the Dragoons. And Best looking like he's going to secure his newly established base once again as we close in towards the 20-minute mark. So very aggressive gameplay here by Flash. In the end, Best did his best to fend this off and held his ground, as finally some Vultures will try, of course, to inflict damage here. But yeah, with that all being said, Flash now, of course, will very likely retreat a little bit, will play it more safe at home, and also will try to secure this newly established base at the 3 o'clock position. So yeah, nice stuff. Let's just check the main from the Protoss mass gateway units. Is he going to try once again to go for some drops with robotics facility base, as is going for the Templar archive? So we might see some Dark Templars, but is more likely to see some High Templars with Psionic Storm. As once again in the middle of the map, Vultures try to win some time here, try to plant as many mines as possible in order to give time for the newly established base to be defended. And yeah, let's see, things have settled down a little bit. More and more units are getting produced, more and more workers are actually getting produced here for both players. We even have some long distance mining here for Flash, as the expansion finally is finishing here. And interesting enough, I thought he would take this expansion right here, but he's just planting more and more mines. So finally this has turned into a more defensive gameplay here for both players after quite early aggressive move outs by Flash. And great defenses here for Best, but also losing quite some units, as I believe Best is going to try to take yet another expansion. Played very safe, very nice and calculated by him. And yeah, still anyone's game, of course, but Best with a very good defense here versus the aggressive move out by Flash. And yeah, Flash having good map control with the Vultures in the middle of the map, trying to plant, of course, as many mines as possible. Of course, they don't cost anything, and they will have to be sniped by the Dragoons here for Best. Let's check the main from Best once again. Just a couple of pylons, some upgrades going out, more upgrades here for Flash as well, as we do see the first High Templars getting produced. So this is going to be indeed the strategy for Best. High Templars with Storm versus the sheer masses from Flash. We have the first Science Vessel getting produced, so EMP Shockwave once again going to be the answer versus all of those High Templars. And yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be here for both players, as more and more mines are getting cleared for Best in the middle of the map. And yeah, there are the High Templars out. And let's check the main here from Flash, as the Vultures are, of course, in the front with the mines, but slowly but steadily Best is gaining more and more terrain as he's now moving out with his units. He might step into some mines here, but a very great control by him. This time he's taking some damage, so some units will fall. Flash realizing that the troops from Best are pretty much split up, they're not grouped up together, as he's going to try to secure the middle of the map with the tanks nicely getting spreaded. And some mines did some great job here for Flash, but this could be quite a deadly position here for Best, as he might try to attack from different fronts, from the south and from the north, and this could be quite deadly versus the army from Flash. But of course Flash knows that the best defense is the attack, and that's exactly what he's doing as he's moving now out with his units. And a great spread. Notice how he's nicely spreading his tanks to avoid the High Templar storms, to avoid the Dragoons as much as he can, even having vision with this Science Vessel in the air. Yeah, some damage has been taken here by Best, as we have passed the 20-minute mark. So like I told you, still anyone's game. Quite an interesting game, as Best is repositioning his units, and he might try to attack, might try to flank, he might try to surround somehow Flash. His Flash looking like he's going to wanting to take the middle of the map actually here with his command center. And Best, I'm not sure if he's going to allow this to happen. Vultures are regaining some mines here, trying to deal some damage. And a retreat here by Best into the lower part, so he's much regrouping his units, but yeah, he's taking more and more damage, as it seems like Flash is regaining more and more territory, and those mines are really nicely spread by him. So the middle of the map now pretty much in control for Flash, as Best looking like he's going to take this expansion right here. Let's see if he has some arbiters, let's see if he has some shuttles. So no, completely different strategy by him. He might attack with those units from the upper part, and he might attack with the others, or is he going to try to go straight for the newly established base? Flash very strong with his vultures, adding more and more mines, making it really hard for the Best to move out. He has to clear those mines first in order to reach the terrain from Flash. At the same time, reinforcements are pulling forward for Best. He will be soon maxed out, so yeah, let's see. So much map control in the middle of the map here for Flash, as he's just pumping out more and more minerals here from this center of the map. And of course he could just uplift the command center and fly it over to the next base here. And Best looking like he's finally reacting with the Zealots in the front. Some High-Templars are very slow in the back, so let's see what Best is going to be doing. So much damage is being taken left and right here, as Flash looking like he's pretty much going to get surrounded very soon. Tanks are holding of course their ground, but more and more damage is being taken left and right with the High-Templar storms. And yeah, so much happening here from both sides, but still the tanks do hold their ground as Best is being pushed back. So nice spread here by the tanks from Flash, as Best has to bring back his reinforcements. And perhaps those minerals even work as a great shield here towards Best, towards Flash. And now a great tank here moving forward, not being sieged up, but in the end the reinforcements are pulling forward here for Best. But yeah, those tanks of course will be able to deal massive amounts of splash damage, and you can barely see them here, nicely hidden in the middle of the map. However, the Zealots are now moving more and more forward, both players dropping below 100 supply, so much damage is being taken, and with a great storm, so many SCVs could drop here, and that's exactly what Best is doing. So many SCVs have dropped here all of a sudden, as Flash has dropped to 31 workers and below 70 supply. So Best all of a sudden with a great move out, and only vultures being left here for Flash. It looks like Best seems to be the nemesis here for Flash. No matter how many tanks he has, the High-Templar might get sniped here, but no matter how many tanks he has, Best seems to be always having the answer here with the Zealots in the front, and those mines also nicely getting cleared here as more and more High-Templars are getting spawned forward. But a great snipe happening here for Flash, as he has to use the storm defensively this time, and 2 High-Templars have been sniped. So great stuff here by Flash, as he is still behind on workers, but Best also taking quite some casualties out of those tanks, as Flash once again tries to lure him forward. But yeah, let's see how this game is going to continue, as Best is still on a 4 base versus a 3 base Terran, and he's going to try to attack once again. I believe that's exactly what he's going to be doing. The mines will take shots against the Zealots in the front. The Zealots are now also dealing damage, and a great storm once again happening here. Flash tries of course his best to micro those vultures back and forward to give cover towards the tanks, which are nicely spread behind here. And we even have the science vessel getting repaired. Another attempt here by Best to move forward, but he has no Zealots, so he has to stay back. So really nice stuff by Best here, trying of course his best. Flash holding his ground, holding his position. It's more and more harder for him to engage. You might even see a great EMP shockwaves here, and all of a sudden all of those shields have been taken out, as the tanks will be able to deal more and more damage. And it's only Dragoons being left here, so a nice meat grinder getting created here by Flash versus his opponent. Still, it's very hard for Best to move forward, but notice how Flash has dropped to 29 workers. He really has to remake some workers, but he's just pretty much focusing on having more and more of a army supply versus his opponent. Yeah, finally the Zealots once again move here forward. Still 29 only workers here for Flash, as the bases have pretty much been depleted here. Only this base and the newly established base here happening here as well. There's still units are getting attacked, but the defenses look very, very strong for Flash as he's creating some sort of a circle, a tank circle, and even planting more and more mines against his opponent. So yeah, let's see what's the answer from Best going to be here. The High-Temp is pretty much exposed, one dropping after the other, so a great move here by Flash as he is able to snipe the important units for Best. And this is what I told you, a shuttle or two would have been so great here for Best, just like indeed in game number 1, or perhaps it was game number 3 or 4, but in the end, no, the lack of shuttles pretty much exposing those High-Templars towards the vultures from Flash, as Flash is being able to gain the middle of the map, and now he's just pretty much moving out with his vultures, trying of course to snipe the High-Templars once again. At the same time, vultures here into this location, dealing damage towards a group of zealots and dragoons here. And I believe Flash is very likely going to try to snipe the newly established base. Even some long distance mining happening here for the base from the Protoss. Flash might also try to take this base right here. As you can see, slowly but steadily we're closing towards the end of this game. Still everyone's game, quite an interesting game indeed. We have here different strategy this time by Best, no shuttles for him, as he's opting to go heavily into those gateway units. Let's just check the upgrades, 2 weapons upgrades. I believe Flash should have 2, actually 2, 3, so perhaps the upgrades will give him the advantage here versus his opponent, as he's able to produce more units. And if he's able to take out the lower part of the map, he should of course win this game. But is it going to be enough, as so many reinforcements are pouring once again forward, and yeah, those High-Templar storms are really strongly punishing the units from Flash. And where exactly is the attack going to happen here, as Flash slowly but steadily is moving forward, has his tanks in position. Remember, those upgrades 2 to 3 quite strong for Flash versus his opponent, so yeah, he's still moving forward. However, now a great High-Templar storm versus all of those vultures here from his opponent, and a great sheer mass of units here, but a great scan anticipation here for Flash, as Best looking like he's going to try to snap perhaps the units here from Flash. Yeah, Flash nicely hiding those units behind the rocks here, and a great EMP shockwave once again, catching so many units. Even the tanks did some great connections here, and yeah, even tanks from above the sea are attacking here the units from his opponent. So quite a long range as the siege is continuing here. Best has to react as his newly established bases are pretty much under siege, and slowly but steadily the next siege tank, followed by the next siege tank, is moving here forward, as finally some zealots will gain some connections here, but it's just mines, and now it's just dragoons in the front. The High-Templars really have to take some great connections. High-Templars pretty much exposed, zealots are in the front, but they don't really reach the tanks, and now the mines will get some great connections, as it's a nice sim city of mines. Archon is also here in the front, but more and more damage is being taken here left and right. A great storm now haunts here by Best, and in the end Best has to GG out, given the fact that vultures have made it here forward towards his base. So while I saw that Flash was pretty much behind here, he had less workers, but in the end, with a great spread with the tanks, somehow he made it here forward with those vultures, pretty much ignoring the army and just going straight for the economy from his opponent. And yeah, with that, Flash having the advantage here, only with 3 vultures, very valuable vultures here, moving forward, causing chaos towards the enemy. So quite an interesting game this time. Best losing the game, he did not decide to go for shuttles just like he did in the previous replays. No arbiters, no carriers for him. It was pretty much a standard Terran versus Protoss engagement here. Okay, in the end, Flash with some nice spreading here, great position for his tanks, even having range towards the river here, above the river, shooting above the river, very nicely done by him. Yeah, let's just check the stats very quick. So I'm going to be clicking left and right once again, very high APM for both players, and a quite interesting Terran versus Protoss we had here. Very long replay, as you can see, 28 minutes. Very nice stuff by both players. So yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to try to cast as many games as possible with Flash. Perhaps I'm going to find some Bisu games and some Jadon games. I also found Zealot onto the ladders, so I'm going to try to be as active as possible. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Tommy signing out.